Hola clase, ¿cómo están? ¿Bien? Hoy es lunes, son las 10 de la noche. Mañana no voy a estar en clase. La clase pasada nosotros trabajamos con el futuro. Remember, we did some introduction about the future tense, and we talked about how in the future the conjugations are very straightforward. All of the verbs AR, ER, and IR have the same endings. As, a, hemos, eis, an. And all of them carry an accent mark except the nosotros form. So today, you're going to do a little project for me. And the project consists on talking about what a future utopia city will look like. Now, there was a book published in 1516 by Thomas More called Utopia. And in Utopia, Thomas More talked about this ideal city where everything will be perfect. Now, obviously, his views are very tarnished by the mentality of the time, right? For example, when they talk about slavery, slavery is a future of utopian life, and it's reported that every household has 2 slaves. The slaves are either from other countries or are the utopian criminals. Some interesting things here about Thomas More, who was progressive, I guess, for the time, but wrote some interesting things. For example, women are not given a high degree of equality in society. Wives are subject to their husbands and are restricted to conducting household tasks. Well, it goes without saying that your utopia will not look anything like this. Am I right? So what I need you to do tomorrow, okay, is to work on this. You're going to figure out what your utopia will look like. And imagine that you could build it, okay? So you want to use the future tense to talk about how will it look like? What will it have? How will the people behave? And more. So there are 10 categories here. For example, la comida. What kind of food they will have? Will they serve certain dishes? Okay. Los medios de comunicación. How people will communicate. Is it telepathically? Is it by Bluetooth? I mean, I don't know. It's your utopia. La política, la tecnología, el trabajo, la vida familiar, las escuelas, los medios de transporte, el medio ambiente, las tradiciones, por ejemplo, días festivos, and more. Now, and more, I mean, your categories are this, okay? And what I mean by that is that in each one of these categories, you should write a couple of things that your utopia will have, okay? So let's see an example with comida, okay? And let's use the verb comer, okay? So maybe in your utopia, every citizen will eat 5 times a day. So you could say, todas las personas comerán 5 veces al día. Now, obviously, you can be a little bit more elaborate than that, right? Now, the questions written right above here were given in order to inspire you, but they're not necessarily what will you want to answer. For example, let's say Sophia wants to talk about how schools will have robots teaching the lesson. Much to his sadness, Bryson might write how schools will no longer have a whiteboard for him to write his name. So let's go over the requirements. Number one, I provided you with a Google slide, and I need you to work on this Google slide so that at the end of the day tomorrow, I can check your progress, okay? Now, students who have not done any work during classroom tomorrow will not receive any credit for the work. I don't expect you to finish, but I expect you to get some done, okay? And I also want you to create a name for your city, okay? I gave some names here of my favorite cities: Bikini Bottom, Shell City, Bubbletown, New Kelp City, etc. Okay. Now you may work in pairs, but you must make your own arrangements to collaborate with your partner. So we have some students that are meeting in person, so those students may wish to work together. Now, I would like for you to work in pairs if possible, but you're welcome to work individually. Now, my heritage speakers, Jason, Erica, and Carolina, if they want to work together as a group of 3, I'm going to allow, okay? Also, Annabeth, Evan, and Elorm may also work together, okay? But Annabeth, Evan, and Elorm, if you work together, okay, each one should write one more category because your group will be bigger, right? So it will be fair with the other students if you just add one more if you have a group of 3, okay? Now remember that I'll be checking your history, so always use your own words. And the only source you can use is wordreference.com.